Thank everybody for coming. And I was told I was supposed to get up and say something, so like a good public speaker, about an hour and a half ago, I Googled the year 1962 because I couldn't think of anything to say. And it was kind of interesting, some of the things I came up with. So here's just a quick flash to take you back. Where were you in '62? In 1962, the average cost of a new house was $12,000. A year's tuition at Harvard was $1,500. Gas was 28 cents a gallon. The first Walmart opened in Bentonville. The first Kmart opened in Garden City, Michigan. Let's see, the first flavored potato chips came out, salt and vinegar. John Glenn was the first American to orbit the Earth. Marilyn Monroe died. And it was also the year they did the first silicone breast implants. So I guess Marilyn was real. Let's see, we had the Beatles, their first hit, Andy Warhol, the Beverly Hillbillies, Dick Van Dyke. Johnny Carson did his first hosting of the Tonight Show. They broke ground for the Houston Astrodome. And I guess the most significant event, for me anyway, was my folks got together and got married 50 years ago. So I'm pretty grateful for that. And for the free food, because last night I was able to hire help. I was playing in the band for a 30-year wedding anniversary, and they fed us pretty well there too, so it wasn't quite this bad. But I'm going to turn this over to my brother Craig, and thanks everyone for coming.
Thanks, we, both of us, just want to thank all of you for coming out for this obviously very special occasion. When my parents asked us to say something, I went round and round about whether I should do something formal and have something written down and try to come up with something very eloquent. And then my dad told me that Stark Thompson was going to do a toast, and I said, well, we've got that covered. So I don't need to worry about saying anything really eloquent. Other than, I think, again, as you all know, this is an unusual thing in this day and age that people stay married for 50 years. And it's something that we feel very honored to be part of as our family. And as I mentioned to my father earlier, it's a good goal for both my brother and I to live up to with our own lives. And we have wonderful role models and parents that were able to have a loving and caring relationship for all these years. And we hope they have many, many more as well. So that's about all I'm going to say. And I'm going to let Stark Thompson come up here and say his piece as well. So thank everyone for coming. And once we get through all this, then we're going to have a nice party.
Good evening. Can everybody hear? We're close enough on that?
No, I
Before I, excuse me, one of us can't hear. Ken, you want to come over here and say it?
I lost my hearing.
Say it to you, a little closer to one. Before I get into a few prepared comments, I just want to pick up on something Craig said. My wife and I were talking as we were driving out here, how fortunate, lucky, whatever we are to know so many couples of our age who are celebrating 38, 39, 48, 49, 50 first wedding anniversaries.
55.
And then 55 even, and it's so, in this day and age of quick and easy marriages and moving on, because it gets a little tough as we all go to try to keep it going. It's really wonderful from our point of view to have, be able to celebrate your 50th and all the other friends that we have who are also celebrating more or less 50th wedding anniversaries. Anyway, I have some prepared remarks. Alan and Fiona, before I propose a toast to you, I want to look back 50 years to when the story began. Who would have thought that Alan, one of the smartest, most reserved members of the Stag Club, would successfully win the heart of Fiona, life of the party, cheerleader, Muskingum homecoming queen. What makes this more improbable is that Fiona had so many suitors that the Stags created the Henderson Handicap.
True.
There were no bets on Alan being the winner.
It's true, they used to announce the odds at Sunday lunch.
The wedding was held on August 18th in Pittsburgh, and I was the best man. With the other members of the wedding party here today, please, I say stand up, everybody standing. So to wave your hands, other members of the wedding party who are here, please. Before I move on with the story, I must acknowledge Alan's father. Excuse me, Oz. For without him and his belief in me, my life would probably have been taken a very different turn from what actually happened. But that's a story for another day. And for that, I'm going to get my emotions under control again. Sorry, your dad was important. After graduation from Muskingum, it was on to Ohio State, law school for Alan and others, graduate school for me, dental school for still others, etc. We worked hard and played hard. OSU football games every fall, great seats in C-deck on the 35-yard line. Try to get that as a student in today's environment. It's not possible. Not much money, so we had potluck dinners after the games, drank cold duck. Now, some of us had some cold duck last night, and we realized that's a very, very bad drink, but that's all we could afford. And Gallo Hardy Burgundy for $2.50 a gallon. That's a gallon of Gallo. We drank a lot of that stuff. Entertaining ourselves with charades. I don't know how many of you people played charades today, but we played charades. Alan was the best at picking the hardest. Sandra too. Judas Iscariot. Now, everybody knows Judas, but how many people know who Judas Iscariot is? It's the same person. How doth the weed growth smite? Alan was trying to figure out how to get something that was impossible for us to do, and he came up with how to, and we're all saying it must be Shakespeare.
Sandy said she recognized. Sandy said she recognized.
How does the weed
say that.
Alan, Clarence, Darrow, Travis would pace back and forth in his living room, making brilliant points only he could understand, or spouting some little known fact, and we all sat there in awe. And then there was the Goldwater loss. And that really, for those of us who were here, who supported him, that was a tough day for us. We all sat around, but that was a tough day. Rusty nails. How many of you know what a rusty nail is? Well, there are a few. It's 2 parts Scotch, 1 part Drambuie. And I'm here to tell you, it is lightning. Or something else. Anyway, the day I found out I passed my comprehensives for my PhD, we started our celebration at the Travis's house with rusty nails. We drank rusty nails at dinner. We drank rusty nails as an after-dinner drink. I was the driver. Can you imagine me with all of a sudden a designated driver? I was the driver. Alan in the back seat with Fiona saying, "Al, start, drive me to my front door." And I did. But it was January, so we didn't leave ruts in the lawn, but I'm here to tell you. Okay, so now we have at least 2 of us who are plastered beyond our minds are blown. Alan passed out on his basement floor. I understand, although I can't testify personally without anything on except the skivvies. I sat in the chair in our living room and did not move for 24 hours. I have not had a rusty nail since that evening. That's a true story. Graduation from law school, law partner, wins cases. He knows he knows that his client is guilty. Appellate court, Supreme Court, Clarence Thomas's first day on the court, judge of the common pleas, voted #1 judge by the lawyers, retirement. Now this is an inside joke. So where was your 5-year plan, Alan?
I will say that Starks always asked me, he said, you have to have a 5-year plan. where are you going to be in 5 years? He was in the corporate world with DuPont, and he planned, appropriately so, to know where he was going to be or wanted to be in 5 years. He should have his replacement ready so that when they called on him, he wouldn't say, I can't leave, I have this project going. He could say, I'm ready to go now. And my 5-year plan was, there was none.
I was going to say, you're going to tell us what your 5-year, anyway. So that was always a standing discussion between Alan and me. But then, therefore, Alan was always the piano. And those of us who know Alan and know him well know that that was maybe cathartic, maybe therapeutic, or just a lot of fun. But your piano was always there for you. Who would have thought that the Muskingum party animal and homecoming queen would become Dr. Travis? Living with lawyers, I love this one. Living with lawyers. Insights into understanding the lawyer in your life. Now, I've asked myself many times, Alan, were you the subject of that book? You know,
I would read some of it.
oh, okay, well, anyway, we're proud of you. I've surmised that this is based on real life experiences. But Fiona, after all these years, you're still practicing, God bless you. And for the personal thing, some great times in Maine. We have a summer home in Maine, and they come on by, and we drink too much and eat too much, usually lobster, and had a great time. Kids, grandkids, Todd marries Anita, what a wedding. Man, can that guy play the piano. Craig marries Heather. Is it possible for Ohio State and Notre Dame to coexist in the same house together? We will debate that for a long time. Grandkids are the apple of the grandparents' eye. Townhouse, Upper Arlington House, the Quarry, Dublin, onward and upward, through thick and thin, all but always together. So here we are celebrating your 50th anniversary. Congratulations. Let's raise our glasses to Alan and Fiona and help them celebrate this wonderful event.
Here.